From childhood's innocent longing, to adolescence's consuming passion, to adulthood's desire for control, to maturity's patient commitment, and finally, to wisdom's quiet devotion. This is the journey from chasing love to truly understanding it. The hammer strikes cold steel, and sparks fly in the darkness. Every blacksmith knows this truth about love. It cannot be forged without fire, without pressure, without the willingness to be burned. Most people think love is soft, gentle, delicate. They're wrong. Love is molten iron, demanding everything, transforming everything it touches. Watch a child discover their first crush, like raw iron ore pulled from the earth, heavy with possibility but unrefined. The young blacksmith sees only the gleaming surface, not understanding that true metal lies buried beneath layers of stone and dirt. Love is blind, Nietzsche warned us, and nowhere is this truer than in childhood's forge. The child believes love means possession. If I can just hold this feeling tight enough, if I can just keep this person close enough, the magic will never fade. They pile coal on the fire desperately, not knowing that too much heat too quickly makes metal brittle. The child's anvil is simple want. They hammer away at love with crude tools, creating dents and scratches, frustrated when their creation doesn't match the perfect image in their mind. Every rejection feels like quenched steel, the sharp crack of metal cooling too fast, ruining hours of work. But then adolescence arrives like a furnace stoked beyond control. The teenage blacksmith works in extremes. Either the fire burns so hot it threatens to consume the entire workshop, or it dies to cold embers, leaving them shivering in the darkness. This is love as chaos. Relationships become the frantic hammering of inexperienced hands, each blow landing without precision, without purpose. The teen believes that intensity equals skill, that if they just feel deeply enough, love enough, desperately enough, they can force the metal into the shape they desire. Love is a state in which a man sees things most decidedly as they are not, Nietzsche observed. The teenage forge is thick with smoke and illusion. They see their beloved not as they are, but as molten gold, precious, perfect, impossible to mar. Every fight is a dramatic quenching, every reconciliation a resurrection of the flame. The workshop floor is littered with broken projects, twisted metal, burned fingers. But still they hammer on, believing that love should hurt, that passion without pain isn't really passion at all. Experience teaches the young adult blacksmith that love requires technique, not just fire. They begin to understand that different metals need different approaches. Some alloys strengthen under pressure, others shatter. This is where strategy enters the forge. The young adult learns to read the color of heated metal, to judge when iron glows the perfect orange for shaping. They discover that Sartre was right. True love can come to fruition when both partners have a deep, mutual respect for the other's freedom. You cannot forge two pieces into one by force. You must heat them both until they willingly join. But the young adult's mistake is thinking love is a project to be completed. They approach relationships with blueprints, trying to hammer their partner into predetermined shapes. When the metal resists, they assume they need a bigger hammer, more heat, longer hours at the anvil. They quote Calvino without understanding. People in love want only love, even at the cost of pain. But they focus on the pain, thinking suffering is the price, rather than understanding that real love requires the patient, methodical work of a master craftsman. Heating, shaping, cooling, heating again. The mature blacksmith knows that love is not about creating something new, but about revealing what was already hidden in the metal. Marcus Aurelius whispered this truth. To love is to wish well for someone and seek their good. The master works to bring out the natural strength of the iron, not to impose their will upon it. Here, in the forge of midlife, love becomes responsibility. The mature adult understands that every day requires returning to the fire, that relationships are not finished products, but living metal that must be continuously tended. Some days the metal is pliable, responsive to the lightest touch. Other days it fights back, requires patience, demands respect for its inherent nature. The mature blacksmith has learned to read the signs, when to strike, when to wait, when to let the metal rest. They know that love is not about possession, love is about appreciation, as Seneca taught. You cannot own molten steel, you can only guide its transformation. Their workshop is organized now, tools cleaned and maintained. They understand that the quality of their love depends not on the intensity of their passion, but on the consistency of their craft. The daily choice to return to the anvil, even when their arms ache and the fire seems dim. But watch the elderly blacksmith, and you see something different entirely. Their movements are economical now, precise. Each hammer blow lands exactly where intended. They have learned what the young could never understand, that the most beautiful work happens in the cooling. The elder knows that love's greatest test is not the dramatic moment of forging, but the long, slow process of tempering. This is where most relationships fail, in the patient years when the metal must be repeatedly heated and cooled, strengthened through countless small attentions rather than grand gestures. We fall in love with each other's strengths, notes the Golden House. But love deepens towards permanence when we fall in love with each other's weaknesses. The elder blacksmith sees the flaws in the metal not as failures to be corrected, but as unique grain patterns that give the finished work its character, its irreplaceable beauty. Their forge runs cooler now, but steadier. They have learned that love is not the fire itself, but what emerges from the fire, something stronger than its original components, shaped by heat, but not consumed by it. In the quietest moments, when the day's work is done and the coals glow softly in the darkness, the elder blacksmith understands Nietzsche's final truth. Love is not consolation, it is light. Not the blinding flash of the first spark, but the steady illumination of properly banked embers. Love, they finally see, was never about the hammer, never about the force of their will upon resistant material. Love was always about becoming the kind of person worthy of holding fire. Every forge needs its fire, and every heart needs its flame to transform the raw ore of attraction into something lasting, something strong enough to bear weight, beautiful enough to treasure. The fire doesn't care about your technique, your experience, your plans. The fire simply burns, offering its transformative power to anyone brave enough to approach with hammer in hand. What are you forging in love's fire today? Share your wisdom in the comments below, because every master was once a disaster, and every perfect piece of metalwork began with a spark in the darkness.